Hi again. We've been doing other things than in the shop, so I figured kind of show you a little bit. We're building a deck and tearing down a pump house and cleaning up the yard, but I figured I'd take a few minutes and show you some aftermath after Creek and Trail. Um, Buggy did real well, but there's a few things we want to change, so I'm going to show you that and show you what we've done and see how you like it. So here she is. Like I said, haven't really done a bunch since Creek and Trail. She did really well. Never got hot. No issues whatsoever. There was a couple things that were possibly an issue before we left um, that we knew about. Nothing bad or anything extreme, but I'll show you what we've done. So, motor 3 ran good. Never got hot, like I said. Tranny never got hot. Everything was good. Good power. The motor we stuck in here, I knew nothing about prior to sticking it in here. Turns out that it has more miles on it than I thought. So one thing we did notice is the valve stem seals and or valve guides in the heads are basically garbage. It puffs a lot of smoke out the tailpipe, but only under like decel, and when you normally would expect valve guides and stem seals to leak. No issues with the front end. We had an issue with the sliders for the coils. They were worn out and they allowing the lower spring to bow. So we replaced those with some AGM products sliders. If you haven't dealt with those, man, they're nice. They fit real well. They're 3 pieces, so we won't have any issues with the springs hitting the shock anymore. So that's good. Never had to use the winch. Obviously, Creek and Trail's nothing extreme or anything like that, so no use for that. But we did know about this issue going. Didn't think it was as bad as it was. Those springs squeaked the whole way through. In the last video, you can hear it pretty well. The other thing before we left, I had run dual 3/4 inch master cylinders for my brakes, and I had okay brakes, but not great brakes. They are manual, but the front needs to be bumped up. So I already have on order. I believe it's a 7/8. I didn't go up to 1 inch. Mac has a 1 inch and 3/4 in his, and the pedal's too hard for my liking. So I figure the 7/8 will get me stopped and locked up. I have 1-ton calipers in the front and 3/4 ton calipers in the back, and I think I just need that excuse me, that little bit extra pressure in the front to get everything locked up nice. Inside, seat's very comfortable. You could see in the pictures before, they are tore up. I've talked to Mastercraft and they make new seat covers for these, so I'm going to just recover them. There's nothing wrong with them other than they just look like poo. So we're going to get new covers. Usually on a buggy or a Jeep in general, floor temp seems to be an issue almost always. So I spent a lot of extra time with shielding and heat all my floors come out. So these panels, this panel, the floors, all of it comes out. The dash, everything unbolts and comes out, including where my foot rests. So on the other side here is the gas pedal, and that my toes actually come through here. So I added this heat shield because you can see how close the header is to it. And even after running all day long, sticking my hand in here, this chunk of steel is ambient temperature at best. And if you're running where it gets any water on it, it's cold. So awesome. Inside here, it's pretty tight. So my right leg rests right here, and it's not hot, but it's warmer than I'd like. So I'm going to add another heat shield on the inside of here just to fix that up. My steering hoses all come through there. And I think I might figure out some sort of pad. It's soft cornered and everything where my leg sits, but it's not as comfortable as it could be. I thought those pedals were going to be too tight for me, but it was comfortable. There was no issues there. Steering was outstanding. I've had 2 other buggies and a 1-ton Jeepster, and the steering on this is phenomenal. It's way better than anything I've ever owned. So it's super quick, super smooth. I really like it. So inside, yeah, no weird noises or anything like that. The only squeaks we had, in my Creek and Trail video, you can hear this squeaking a lot. And all that was that spring from that spacer and the lack of, well, let's just call me an idiot. And on none of my greasable joints on the links got greased before we left. So they tend to squeak a lot. That was fairly easy to fix once we got where we were going, and everything got squeaked or greased and stopped squeaking except for the springs. Back here, I just got dual Altimas, so nothing special. Enough room for storage for a tool bag and a cooler. Little upgrade, and I don't know how it worked out, but this came out of a YJ and it fits perfect in here. So we had Bluetooth tunes in here, which was great. The massive amount of gear oil in these differentials, they ran super cool. Never got anywhere close to warm. The one idiot thing that I did for myself, I spent the first whole day forgetting that my reservoirs were adjustable, and I had them set fairly firm on these Kings. On the way out, I remembered that they were adjustable, softened them up, and this thing rides like a dream. Way better than before. The last thing, we'll come back around on this other side. When we left, I knew that I had a issue with my transfer case, which is just a 241 currently. When I built this, I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do, so I left the belly pan the way it was, and I just notched the belly pan just a little bit for the transfer case to fit down as low as I wanted it to. The problem is I never finished that. I kind of ran out of time and money and, well, just energy. So I wasn't able to do everything I wanted to do. So after we got back, I threw a quick little skid up underneath there so I can play more. At some point when I do get my Atlas, that belly pan is going to completely get redone. I need to I'm going to do a 205 with a doubler, and I need to move that carrier bearing for the intermediate drive shaft down, so the frame mounts for the front links are going to move out, and that belly pan's going to move down an inch. That'll make everything better there. Other than that, man, it worked really, really well. No issues, no complaints whatsoever. This thing is a blast to drive down the highway. It'll do 75, 80 miles an hour, I think. I've had it to 60, and there was plenty left just on the roads around here. Until I get that carrier bearing finished, four-wheel drive high speed, it shakes a bit. But once I get that figured out, that'll be no more issues. Other than that, I'm super happy with how she works. She still fires right up. It's got great oil pressure. Sounds killer. Just puff smoke. So I'll do something about that. I'm not sure if I'm going to rebuild the heads or if I'm going to actually go through and get a different motor or put rings in this or what. But right now there's not a lot to worry about. But that's how she looks and how she worked. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.